Peace and blessings. Peace and blessings. I'd like to thank you all for being with me today. It's early in the morning. I'm at work, and I'm just doing a little reflecting on life. I'm grateful to be able to get up, come to work, meet the day with a determination to do and be better. These are things that I wanted to do for so long. I remember getting up and 4 in the morning, either going to child in prison, because that's the only time you're really getting up, is either you're working in the industrial enterprise, wood shop, electrical shop, things like that, or you're going to breakfast. Most guys went to breakfast really just to get out the pod. You know, you're eating 2 pieces of bread, you're eating 2 summer sausages if you ate meat, and they were little thin summer sausages, no bigger than a finger, a spoon of jelly, and usually some grits or oatmeal, probably about 6 or 7 spoons of grits or oatmeal. And if you weren't eating meat, then you would probably get a little small, hefty spoon of peanut butter, usually coming in this small white container. So after that, you know, you drink some coffee, drink a little milk, maybe some juice, go back to the pod and go to sleep. You lay down, you try to get, another hour or so. And if you were in school, you would get up around 7 o'clock and go to your program. And if you weren't, you would wait for a rec call in the morning. And that was the routine. You come back, 11 o'clock, you lock in the cells. You stay in there until they count. 12:30, you back out. You go to child, you go to rec, go to school. You come back, 3:30, same thing. Count time, you come out, program, rec, etc. So this is the routine for so very long. So sometimes I reflect on that routine and the beauty in being able to just get up, come to work, earn my money legally, to be able to just look around you and see so much of the world without the restrictions of a concrete wall, a door, or bars. It's a wonderful thing. So this morning I'm just feeling blessed, and I'm grateful, and I thank you all for tuning in to another edition of Lessons Learned by Khalid. And if you would, when you ever get a chance, hit the like button, hit the share button, and the subscribe, and share with as many people as you can, because I believe that a lot of people who are watching are probably my age or a little older, who've experienced what I've experienced, and so there's the ability to relate to what I'm saying. However, a lot of what I'm saying is for those young, those who are wild, and those who really believe that they have it figured out at their age. When I thought the same thing, never thought that the crimes that I was committing, the wrongs that I was doing would get me life and 10 in prison, and I would have to serve 25 years. I would have to watch people come and go. I would have to watch nieces and nephews being born and growing without me, my siblings growing without me, my family growing, many of them dying without me. So I thought I had it figured out. I didn't, and I should have took heed. So I pray that someone takes heed. I'm going to be brief this morning, hopefully. I want to speak about the rules of prison. The rules. Because we see it in a lot of movies. I saw it in the movie Penitentiary 1, 2, and 3, about the boxer guy, Too Sweet. I saw it in Blood In and Blood Out. I saw it in American Me, Lockdown, Master P's movie. So I've seen, prison movies, some inside, but a lot of the prison movies I saw, I was even juvie, or I saw outside. And, you see the rules in the prison. One is mind your business. That's a real serious rule in prison. I've seen guys get slapped, and I'm not exaggerating, slapped, because they were speaking on a situation that had nothing to do with them. They're in the corner with 1 or 2 guys. Yeah, man, I heard dude was in the pod arguing with the boy. And that's what they call the homosexuals. Arguing with the boy, man. He's barking on the boy. Whoa, whoa. And the dude walked past. Hey, man, who you talking about? Oh, nah, Slim, I'm talking to my man. I'm saying, who you talking about? And I was just talking to my man. Look, man, mind your business, man. You ain't got nothing to do with me and mine. All right, Slim, I mean, you pulling up on me like whop, slapped. So people gonna talk about people. That's the nature of things. That's the life, that we live. But if you're not discreet, that stuff will bite you in the butt. I remember when I first, as I said, got to Greensville, and that was one of the largest prisons in the Virginia system, actually the largest. And I had, forged a bond with a brother from Richmond and a brother from New York at the reception center, Southampton. And we got pretty close. We sat ate chow together and we talked. And as soon as we got to the Greensville, we actually were in the same bar. And the guy from Richmond, he immediately, Richmond is pretty large. So a couple of guys automatically told him who to go to get knives. So he went to this guy, got 3 knives, bought 3 knives off the top. And he came to me and the brother from New York. Like, man, I got y'all one. Now me, I've been pondering from jail through reception, how am I gonna, do my time? I'm gonna do it serious. I'm not gonna play. I wasn't really a playful guy, so I wasn't gonna do that. I wasn't gonna sit around and become friendly. I was just gonna mind my business and stay focused. And I was born a Muslim. I was born in the Nation of Islam. So, they say when all else fails, you turn back to God. So I just said I'm gonna focus on trying to get my life right. Start restudying, start focusing on, because again, I had life intent. I didn't want to die in prison. So I was thinking on how can I do my time that would get me out sooner. So I told the guys, like, no, I don't, need the knife, hold it, keep it for me. And even to this day, me and the brother from New York are still cool. The guy from Richmond, we were cool. He went home a long time ago and did pretty well, last I heard. But again, he got the knives, and that's what most people do. The minute they touch a compound or a spread, is what we called them back then, you look for a knife. That's the first thing you look for. As I said earlier, when people ask you where you're from, you tell them where you're from, and so you have an opportunity to kind of walk by yourself or walk with one or 2 guys that you may deal with, or you hang with your homeboys. And so, they even provide weaponry. And that's one of the rules that you learn is they'll tell you, or people will tell you, don't borrow anything. Don't borrow anything. Don't be overly friendly. You can be a good-hearted guy. You can be courteous, but don't be overly friendly. I remember there was a guy in the pod, and he was pretty nice. He was friendly with everybody. Guys used to take advantage of that. I mean, he had a lot of money for, I don't know what he did in life, but he had a lot of money. I think he was a legit guy in the world, So guys used to, go to him every night. Man, let me get a soup and a chip. And he'll look out, with a smile on his face. But guys, after a while, guys in prison, it's a predator and prey mentality. And so guys have a tactic. It's like the Serengeti. When you see the hyenas sniffing around, weakness. And even the lions do that. They really don't attack the larger elephants. They will if they're really, really hungry. But they usually go after the babies, one of the elephants that they may feel weak or, sick. So, but the hyenas, they smell death, they smell weakness, and they come and they pounce. And that's the same way it is. They guys may come and do a little nipping, and let me get a soup and a chip. But they'll be in their cells plotting, man. Dude got 400 ounces worth of food, man. This man got sodas everywhere. This guy got canteen galore. And they don't want to keep asking, because in their mind, they feel like bums. Like, really, they feel like they're asking, and they rather just get it all. And so that's what they'll do. I've seen guys run up in cells that are the same guys that they can get anything from and take everything. We came back from the pod one day, came back from child one day, going to pod, the guys on the top tier, man, who went in my cell? Man, who went in my cell? And guys are sitting at the table, everybody looking up. It's pretty large pods, and they're looking up, and the guys on the tip, man, somebody went in my cell, man, I don't play that, I don't disrespect nobody. And guys didn't rob him. The guys took his cellmates, all his cellmate stuff, and left like a soup or something on the bed, like being funny. And you'll hear that. There are tales out there where people do that. And sometimes guys will do that, being funny, being silly, making a statement, whatever it is, he took it. But the guy feels violated because even though you didn't take his stuff, you went up in his cell. So you disrespected him. You imposed on his peace. And the understanding is, if you got a problem with my cellie and I'm not bonded with him, we're not cool, we're not tight, you catch him in the hallway. That's y'all affair. But when you come in my cell, you break my peace, you break my feeling of security. And so the guys that actually did it were in the pod, and the guy was talking so much on the tier, about guys going to the cell, he don't play that. Guy looked and told him, and guy say, man, could be you. And the guy looked like, yeah, he went back and said he thought about it because he saw the group of guys that it was. He stopped the wolfing and the protesting, right? But that was wild. But I saw all this. I saw coming off the rec yard one day, and this is within the first month of my doing time. I come off the rec yard one day, and you see movement, fast movement, so you can sense the tension. You can feel it in the air. Guys are kind of huddled, guys are looking and whispering. So I see at the door, guys trying to rush in to get to the shower. So you see guys at the door kind of milling around, but it's like a nervous energy. I go in the pod, and everyone is looking up at the showers. So I walk in, I do the same thing. I'm looking at the shower, and you hear, grunt. Ah. Man, two white guys in there stabbing each other up in the shower. So somebody yells, CO coming, CO, y'all. So everybody kind of moving, and everybody stops looking, and everybody kind of trying to act like nothing's going on. But you still see guys looking up out the side of their eye. And when the COs run in, the white guys jump in the shower together. They stop stabbing each other. I mean, they're actually leaking. Blood is coming out their bodies. And the COs are looking around like, because the woman in the booth saw it. So when she told them what's going on, they went up to the, on the top tier, and they told the white guys come out the shower and everything. They come out, wet, bloody, and they got cuffed and, taken out. And the police were telling everybody move out the way. When I saw that, I'm like, man, this is wild. Guys would stop fighting, stop stabbing one another just to avoid having the police come into the pod. So, I learned certain things. One, no one wanted the police in the pod because you had people making wine. You had people, using drugs. You had people just, in each other's cells when that wasn't really, an okay thing, just hanging out, smoking, weed or whatever, drinking. And so to be what was termed hot, drawing attention into the pod was a no-no. So guys that were loud or doing silly stuff or trying to, get the woman's attention in the booth by acting silly, guys will pull up on them later like, hey, man, calm down. You want to talk to the girl, man? You go to the booth and rap to her, all that silly stuff, throwing stuff. Because when you draw attention to the pod, they will lock it down. And depending on what you've done, they will shake it down. And they'll come in there and find TVs and people said that don't belong to them. They're going to find contraband, knives and weaponry, drugs. They bring the dogs in there. So that was something that you didn't do. You did not bring attention to where you stayed. You mind your business. And that's not always a great thing. I'm out here in society and I understand there's crime and some things have to be addressed. And I understand that as a civilized man. However, I also know that when I say address, that those that we would like to help us, and I'm referring to law enforcement, aren't always out to help us. So in prison, that's the mentality. They're not out to help us. They're out to harm us. So a lot of people don't go to the officers for guidance, for help. I've seen guys get bullied. I've known guys, I've known guys that get raped in prison. Like, honestly, that's not a rumor. That's not a tale. One of them I saw on Facebook. I didn't do the friend request because some people, they may not want anybody to remember that trial, that tragedy. And so the rules, a lot of people, there were rules and a lot of those rules had to be abided by. And when you don't know the rules, they can, eat at you, it can hurt you. But if you abide by them entirely too much, then, you become institutionalized. So there's a balance. There's always a balance. And so, like I said, a lot of trial, a lot of error. We found, some of us found ourselves in there because of that, and it was like walking through fire. Some of the prisons were called gladiator school, boot camp. There was a prison in Southampton, they called that gladiator school. The one that had the largest name when I first fell, or had been shut down, was Spring Street in Richmond. It was like the equivalent of Lawton in DC. It was real chaotic. And when I got to Greensville, that's how that was. I saw in the first month me being there, I saw at least 3 people stabbed. I saw a guy getting his hair cut, and one of the lower part of our pod was on segregation, so we could come out. But on certain days, we couldn't come out because the lower part of the pod were taking showers or getting their hair cut. Guy was getting his hair cut. He got cuffs on. Man, the guy came out his cell, pulled his door wide open, came out, looked around, and ran up on the guy while he was getting his hair cut and beat him down. And the barber, understandably, he backed up. He had nothing to do with it. He minded his business. And so I saw a lot of that. And I realized that if I'm gonna live that life, then you either have to live it to the fullest, and you have to be one of those guys carrying knives every day, checking everything with a harshness and a severity, and you run your numbers up, you run your time up, or you can try to educate yourself, do your time a little better, a little wiser, and try to get home as soon as you can, or if not, be smarter along the way. And so this is where most people find themselves at the beginning of their bits, and this shapes and molds the remainder of their bit more often than not. So the rules, it was a real serious thing. It's something that comes with the territory, and it's something I'll speak about a little more. But I know that when I first was locked up, that's what I had to worry about: the rules. What rules were there, how to abide by them, and how to just exist in that environment that was meant to be cruel, that was surrounded by cruelty, and exist in that environment, and trying not to be a predator, but you definitely don't want to be prey. So I'll address a little more of that later. But again, I appreciate you all looking. I appreciate you all walking with me during this journey. My next installation, I'll be speaking about my life. I'm going to go back a little bit and walk people up my life's journey, because some may wonder what makes me qualified to do what I'm doing, to speak, to try to help the youth, to try to talk to people, to try to save people, what makes me qualified, who gives me the authority. So I want to speak about my life and what led me to the life I lived, and also why am I at a point in my life where I want to do the things that I'm doing. So again, thank you. Have a good day. Continue to strive to bless others and be blessed yourself. And I look forward to talking to you all again real soon. Peace.